Episode of Right. Today we're going to interview author Tom Fye for his book, Here There Be Dragons. And it's a really fabulous book. You should buy it and read it and comment on it. But at tomfry.org. But Tom, how are you doing?
Good, Rick. Good. I'm raring to go.
All right, good, good. All right, just to recap, I think that you have a fantastic ability to integrate magic into your story into modern times, right? It's
Right,
you do it naturally. So
right.
just to recap, tell us what the unforeseen visitor in the alley told Alex.
Well, that's Celeste, and she's kind of a cynical, very raw. I mean, she's very confrontational most of the time. But she pushes Alex and tells him about his past because she knows about his history, that he was born in Wallachia and he was a gypsy child. His father left him.
Does Alex know about his history?
Oh yeah, yeah. Alex knows because
So
he,
she really reminds him of his history, right?
yeah, trying to push him in order to prepare him for gameplay because she knows that he may be pushed on those issues when he goes to play the game, and so she's trying to prepare him for that,
Got it.
so he doesn't fail. You know.
Oh, right. So uh, now what happened with Connie? Connie's a new character in this book, right?
She's just a side character. She's just a probation officer,
But she
caseworker.
had some vital role to play in stimulating Alex, didn't she?
No, not really. She's just a caseworker who places him with reason on an
Really?
emergency basis. Yeah, she's not going to become a character. She's just a side a way to get Alex
So
going.
she appears and then vanishes, is what you're saying,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Explain Django to us.
Django is kind of like a golem creature.
And he's
Um,
a good example of what I mean, your ability to integrate magic into your stories.
Yeah, he's a mogrim. A mogrim are little bald-headed beings that are about 2 feet tall, dark-skinned. They're kind of like the goblin fairy creatures, and this one's got blue eyes. He's got huge blue eyes, and
Huge
kind of
blue eyes?
yeah, he's like a monkey-like character, and he's Celeste familiar. He hangs on her all the time and sits on her shoulders and
What
travels
do you,
with
what
her.
do you mean he's Celeste's familiar?
Well, most wizards have a familiar like an owl or an eagle or
Right?
an animal sometime or a wolf even. So he's kind of like her conduit to Valasar. He is the link that connects her to Valasar.
I see. Right?
Have magic abilities, but he can fight like a fiend.
Well, he is a fiend, isn't he?
Yeah, kind of a fiend. He's kind of a
A
uh,
demon,
an imp. I would say an imp.
right?
I
And
would
yeah,
say demon. Demon are dark beings and evil. He's not evil. He's just a wild kind of wild, untamed magic creature.
okay. Now, let's see. Why did Celeste say to Alex, well, let's go back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Celeste's appearance to Alex. Why she was so adamant that her little brother not follow in her footsteps.
Well, she's been through the whole juvenile justice system, and she just got out of drug treatment, and she doesn't
Right.
want Lucas to follow and go that same route. He's already been, truant from school, and he's already broken his violated his probation,
Right.
and so she knows that if he doesn't rein it in, he's going to end up like her, and she warns Alex. She says, "Don't you ever give my brother drugs." She says, "Or I'll take you to task."
Right.
And Alex has no intention of getting Lucas on drugs, but he takes this as a warning. But she's a good big sister. She looks out for her little brother, and she's motivated by trying to help Lucas, because they live in a household of bikers. Their father and their uncle are basically their caregivers, and they're two pretty violent guys. Um, and and Celeste is on the edge of that. She could pummel Lucas senseless, but she doesn't. She reins it in herself and tries to.
But Celeste has magical powers, no?
Yes, she does. She and Lucas rescued Grunge from a dogfight out in the country, and on the way home, they found a gypsy caravan full of gypsies. They were trailers and motorhomes and RVs, and they're down by the river. And Celeste falls asleep, and when she wakes up, the gypsy chieftain has placed three tattoos on her. One is a deer, a stag, with its antlers coming up on the side of her face that evolve into twin wolves, and they actually come to life when she's in need, and they help her battle. And
All right. So when she fell asleep, was this a magical spell that the Gypsy King placed on her?
yeah, gypsy chieftain. Yeah, he's a Shengain chieftain, and yes, he basically places a spell on her to
Make
have
her
her.
sleep.
Yeah, when she wakes up, she's got these tattoos. She looks in the river and she sees her own reflection looking back, and she's like, "Wow, those are
Well,
cool."
because I couldn't see her getting tattoos, just falling asleep, she'd surely wake up when they were applying tattoos to her.
Oh
But now
yeah,
I understand she had the gypsy chieftain put a magical spell on her.
yep. Which I bet all tattoo artists wish they could do the same.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
You can't drink alcohol before you get tattooed, and you can't use pain pills. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, and they become magical. They're magical beings that are part of her image, and they come to life when she needs them, and they fight for her, and they're ethereal beings.
Right. Ethereal beings,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of like spiritual beings.
yeah, yeah. Ghostly, very ghostly. They glow. They have a glow to them, greenish and blue, and very magical beings.
Wow, that's good. All right. Why did Alex say why did Celeste say to Alex, games are not often a friend to little spoiled brats? I've got to have the answer to that question.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she knows how much rage Lucas can propel, because when he's playing a game, he goes ballistic if he doesn't win.
What is it
Um,
about games that bring out the worst and the best in children?
I don't know. I had two foster kids that gamed at the same time. The one went ballistic because he thought the game was cheating on him. He just was so
Really?
sure. Yeah, he was just so sure the game was set up to piss him off. And he
Right?
pulled a TV right off the TV tray one night and broke the whole TV because,
Really?
yeah, he got so
Oh my
mad.
gosh.
Yeah, he couldn't play games for a while after that. But then I had another kid who would play and he wouldn't make a sound. He wouldn't cuss. He wouldn't get mad. He would take it all in, and 3 days later he'd get pissed off.
3 days later?
Yeah, it'd come out. It'd be like some kind of a blow up he'd have, and but he wouldn't process it for about 3 days. It was,
But
it
while
was
he was playing the game, he just immersed in it, right?
yeah, totally, and no outbursts, no anger. Even if he'd lose, he would just keep playing and keep trying. And so I don't know. I think games affect kids differently. Um,
Right, right.
I think some kids are wired so that they're more they got more of a gentle nature, and then there's some that are wired that just have this rage that's just beneath the surface, waiting for something to trigger it.
Yeah, and the game playing could trigger it, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
I understand now. All right. Um, why did Alex say Alex we're talking about now, right? Say that with reference to the missing Billy Connor, you said, no, Alex said, not meaning to interrupt him. Not Lucas. It ain't in him to do such a thing. But Nate, he's a different story.
Yeah, Uncle Nate is a one of the bad dudes in the story. He's a bald-headed guy with a dragon tattooed on his head, and he is Stone Holland's brother and a member of the Elders Den, actually the vice president. And
So he's a biker, no?
oh yeah, he's a biker.
Yep.
And Billy comes up missing. Billy Connors, the grandfather of Reason and Boone,
Right.
and they think that Lucas, tried to attack him with the baseball bat, but actually Lucas didn't. He just
okay.
fell through the window, and that's how that's what Alex is talking about. That it's not in Lucas to hurt somebody like that and make Billy Connors disappear, but Nate, oh yeah,
Is Nate a bad guy?
Oh yeah, Nate's a bad guy. He's even worse. You find out more about him as the book progresses, and
Is he capable of killing someone to make them disappear?
oh yeah, oh yeah, and he
Okay.
yeah, and he does.
Now, how were the outlaws involved in this dispute?
Well, you got to go back to book one, which is Havelock. The Outlaws and the Elders Den have been in rival clubs since the beginning. They all came from Sprague and Crete, Nebraska, and the Elders Den was always in fights with the Outlaws, and so their rivalry started way back.
So they're kind of conflicting teams, right?
Yeah, when Reason and Beef bring them the baseball bat and say, this is Lucas's. Lucas tried to break the window at the Emerald. Well, then he drags the Outlaws right into it because Reason's dad is Rain Nelson. Rain Nelson is who the whole story starts with in the very beginning in the Havelock book. And he's a 14-year-old boy then. And his dad, Chase Nelson, is the president of the Outlaws.
Ah.
And Chase and Dawes Holland is the president of the Elders Den, and that is Lucas's great grandfather.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, yeah. The Holland family are the kind of the bad guys in the whole book, kind of like the Jesse James and Frank James, the brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, what's Nate's last name again?
Who's that?
What's Nate's last name?
Nate Holland.
So the Hollands fit in the bad category, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Stone is Lucas's dad, and he's a lot better. He's got it together. He doesn't allow dog fighting in his club, and
Okay.
he's anti-drug also, and so he's kind of a rare fixture in the book. But he was with special forces at one time and served overseas in Afghanistan, and
maybe that drums some discipline into him.
yeah, yeah, and he tries to be a good father, but with a kid like Lucas, it's really hard,
Yeah, I guess so, because Lucas suffers from rage, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow. Now explain the leather map and how it was possible to change realms.
Well, Lucas is on his way out of the realm, out of Valisar, and he thinks, gosh, I got to have something to prove I was here. And he sees that map laying there, and he grabs it and snatches it up, rolls it up, and takes off with it. And when he comes into our world, back into our world, he brings it out and shows it to Boone, and the thing comes alive with magic. And Reason's shocked because he did not write that map into the gameplay.
Ah.
And here Lucas has it, and he's like, "What the?" He doesn't get where it came from himself.
He doesn't understand how the transmutation of the leather map from one realm to another is possible.
Oh, I think through magic. It's kind of like when they end up in the realm, they're dressed in medieval clothes alrered.
Right?
So
What's that?
Kind of take it for granted that happens. I've read a lot of fantasy books, and some have alternative realms in them.
Right.
where they come from this realm into that realm, and they don't dwell on that much. I
Right.
mean, how a person would be transported over. It's just kind of like taken for granted. You just think, well, that's magic. That happens through magic, and
Right.
say, you.
So the magic made it possible for the leather map to be there, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Right. And was it Lucas that had special magical powers? Because if anyone else tried to cross the leather map, would it stay behind?
No, it would come with them if Alex
Okay.
went bring it. But no, Lucas doesn't have any special powers at this point. He has a arrowhead he wears around his neck and a
Well,
feather.
except for the dogs that talk to him, right?
Yeah, yeah. When the dogs talk to him and he
So that
hears
could be
it.
kind of viewed as a special power.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But I mean, as far as like Harry Potter type wizard spell power, not yet. It's developing. It's
Okay.
slowly developing.
Okay.
First, he has to get the anger out of the way.
Now tell us about the land of Balasar again.
Well, back in the day, I wrote a story called The Lion's Stone, and it had to do with a land called the Isle of the Seven Oaks.
Isle
And
of the Seven Oaks.
yeah, and I drew so many maps of that. I'm not much of an artist, but I drew map after map of that, and played Dungeons and Dragons for 7 years with five good friends, and we often ventured to that land,
Yep.
and I finally found some Tolkien cards that had a landscape on them, mountains and forests and rivers. I formed them all together and made a cool map. And
Right.
yeah, and so that became Balasar. That's then I finally had a friend of mine, Marcus, Mark Marcuson, wildlife artist, draw me the map, and
Right.
that goes in all the books. That's in the very beginning of each book. So you know where you're at and where places are.
Right. Right. Now let's see. Uh, who were the black cloaked figures that came upon, and what were they trying to do? Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, I've got several monsters in my book. The Trakes, which are lizard-like beings, are huge, hulks. Uh,
Enormous.
yeah, and they're mighty warriors. And I've got these stealth who use magic, and they're like black cloaked, almost like the Nine Riders type beings. Then I got the
Right.
Nazarani, and the Nazarani are small, bald-headed, bat-eared, vampire teeth.
Really?
Yeah, and they fight in a cluster. They fight
Now,
with
what are
the
they called again?
Nas. I call them the Nas,
Nas. Okay.
but Nazarani is their full name. They've come over here to stop Alex from coming to Valisar
Now, that's what
because
the black cloak figures are, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. They're Nas.
Yeah, the Nas. And Celeste intervenes, and she uses her swords, and her stag and her two wolves come to life, and she battles them there in the alley. But they start talking about Alex's gypsy blood, and
Really?
yeah,
Now,
and
why
that's
would they do that?
well because they know he's gypsy born. They know that he is coming to the realm, and if he does come to the realm, he's going to restore the wizard warriors of Caladar.
Ah,
And, and so they want to stop him.
they won't stop him, or they will stop him.
They want to stop him. They try
Not
to,
to stop him, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because as
So,
the book progresses, he restores the order of these wizard warriors.
so they came into this world to kill Alex
Yeah,
explicitly.
yes.
Wow.
They came with Hunter Sen. Hunter Sen is the son of Cain Sen, and he's a 15-year-old wizard warrior boy himself, and he comes in to try to stop Alex also. That's his plan, and it gets foiled by Celeste.
She kills them, I take it, right?
She kills the Nas. The last one, he begs her to kill her instead of turning him over to the White Council. And because he mentions this White Council, and the White Council are these wizards, wizard mages, mage warriors, mage lords, I call them.
Right.
And Billy Connors is one of them who runs the Emerald Pub. And this Nas does not want to be turned over to the White Castle, so she slays him, and he thanks her.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
that's the end of him, right?
Yep.
Now, when you write at the mention of the council, the Nas hissed, "We were on the hunt. King's blood, gypsy blood. It is strong with he who is just here with you. He needed to be stopped from crossing through." What exactly do you mean by that? What
Well,
they were trying to stop him from Alex from crossing over?
yes, yes.
Why?
Well, because he's going to restore this order of warriors that have been valuable and be potent against the dark in the land of Alisar, and they know that. And
But Alex is just a kid, right? How
oh
old
yeah,
is he?
but
How old is he?
he's got this gypsy blood, royal blood that's flowing through his veins. He's part of the seven kings of Valisar.
How old is Alex?
He's 14.
14. That
Yeah.
seems a little young to, change all the things around in Valisar, right?
Oh yeah, but that's what. Look at Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, honestly, the way
Yeah,
you integrate magic with the real world is fascinating to me.
yeah. Well, I've
And you have kid sorcerers, and you have male sorcerers, and you have women sorcerers. You got really, it's fascinating the way you integrate your magic into it, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, and I don't overdo it. I
Well, it gives new meaning to the term urban fantasy.
yeah, yeah. It does. Yeah. And Alex has a role to play with Briar when he gets over to the land of Valisar. Briar is the High King. He is a boy king, and he he and Alex hit it off. They meet, and they are boyhood friends almost. And when he comes back to the realm, something has changed Briar, and he has outlawed magic.
Uh,
And I won't tell what happens, but
it sounds kind of like you're creating a world similar to Dresden the Files, and but better in a way because they're youth in the story, right?
right,
Troubled youth. Um, the Dresden Files got a troubled wizard, but this has got a troubled youth who deals with this rage throughout the course of the book, and it's
right.
really quite fascinating.
Well, I got three troubled kids because Celeste is not, steady yet either, and Alex is
Right,
on his way to being that way. But this Valisar changes them all, and
right. They're
changes them.
changed by being in the realm of Balasar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and change for being better because their self-esteem is what changes, and that's
Right.
what makes them better people, and how they can deal with their anger and with their, self-esteem and their
Because
um,
I imagine the people that were changed they had poor self-esteem to begin with, right?
oh yeah,
That's a key to their rage, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
Now, the last question for today, who were Celeste spirit beasts? Tell us about them.
Well,
You've told us a little bit about them, but I'd like you to expand on that.
yeah, yeah. Well, later on in the story, they talk to her. They give her advice, and they are her advisors. And
They're
they,
kind of like counselors, right?
yeah, yeah, and they accompany her and everywhere she goes because they're tattooed on her. And
Ah,
um,
oh, really?
there's another character in the story, Tanner Silvertree, who is a legend weaver, and he has tattoos also that come to life. So there are several characters in the story um, whose ink comes to magical life,
Okay.
and they create a bond with those characters, and they fight beside her. They
So these spirit beings are tattooed onto Celeste's body, but
right,
they come to life when she needs them.
right, right. Yep.
Did they ever not come to life when she needs them?
No,
They always come to life when she needs them, right?
yeah, they're pretty reliable.
I guess so, right? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
fascinating the way you integrate magic into your stories, right? So,
Well, I try to I try to make it so that it's just flows. It doesn't just, it's not junky and cluttered up. It just happens.
Right.
And I don't dwell on it. I don't explain a lot of it because magic is not, you don't
Explainable.
understand magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unpredictable too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
A lot of stories you find people that it's detrimental to them when they use it. But in this case, it helps. It helps with everything.
Right.
All three of my characters are involved in.
Right. I guess now,
So,
Tom, we'll end the interview right here, but I'd like to explore a little bit further next time the way your characters interact with magic and what role magic plays in your story. But now, how can people contact your website?
www.tomfry.org,
All right. How do they get a hold of you on Facebook?
Tom J. Fry on Facebook.
Right. Now, I understand you're recording the books, right? Your books for the blind.
Yeah, the Library of the Blind is recorded Scratching on the Eight Ball back in '87, I think it
Right.
was. And I listened to it one night, and it was so monotonous and dull. I went in and I told him, and I said, "Next time you do a recording," I
Let
said,
you do it, right?
"Yeah, because the guy that did it sucked." And he goes, "That was me." And he says, "That's the way the blind want it. They want no inflection, no emotion." So they've changed a lot of that since then. And so, yeah,
Yeah, I think they had a
yesterday,
wrong idea of what the blind like and don't like, right?
yeah, really. I mean, come on. I started behind the eight ball yesterday. I got three chapters knocked off,
Right.
and so yeah, it's kind of cool because they use my books all over the place, and
Well, your recording of Here There Be Dragons will be particularly fascinating to them
oh yeah, oh
because
yeah,
I think that the blind are open to magic.
oh yeah,
You know,
because they have to see images. They have to see a lot of
right, right,
mental images. I mean, that's how I write stories. That's
right,
I get images. That's how I come up with these ideas. They're kind of like visions, and I paint a picture when I write.
right. All right. That's your publisher is Whitecap Publications, and you can find us at www.whitecappublications.com. Until the next interview, Tom, I wish you a healthy goodbye, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to work on the book.
All right.